All right, Rebels, welcome to the beginning of something different. This is Podcasters Business Insider, the daily show where creators stop playing small and start building like business owners. Here, we don't chase downloads for vanity. We build systems, strategies, and shows that actually pay the bills. If you've ever felt stuck recording into the void, wondering if your podcast will ever grow into more than just a hobby, this is where the guesswork ends because you're not just a podcaster, you're a founder, a strategist, a builder. And together, we're going to turn your mic into a media empire. So buckle up, pod rebels, because clarity beats chaos, strategy beats hustle, and momentum beats perfection. So today, again, as always, I'd like to know who is watching us live or who is watching the replay. Put the comments in. Link us up with the comments below. Let us know where you're at and whether this is a lot you're watching us live or replaying it. Also, what's your biggest podcast challenge right now? We're very curious to know what it is. So let's get into today's topics. Let's get into it. Today we're going to be tackling one of the biggest lies in podcasting: growth hacks. Hacks give you a spike. Systems give you scale. Plus, we're going to be going into two big news about global podcast markets and Google's new AI assistant for Workspace. So let's get into today's news segments. They're making, I don't know if it's good to say that this is making waves. This is more on the lines of making interesting adjustments to your podcasts. Article number 1, the massive Pod News, which comes from us from Pod News. Global podcast market sees massive growth. Headline: Pod News reports that global podcast markets has seen massive expansion, pointing towards billions in potential revenue. Why this matters: the pie is getting bigger, people. More ad dollars, more listeners, and more opportunities for indie creators like you and myself to carve out a slice. Sorry, it's been a long evening. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Podcasting isn't niche anymore. This is a mainstream media channel with global reach. Indie creators who position themselves early can capture attention before markets get too saturated. This is game-changing, people. We have billions, if billions are following into the space. You need to treat your show like a business asset now in order for you to attract revenue later. And this is something that I have been harping about since I started Podcasters Business Insider. You need to be looking at your podcast as a revenue income business. And there are many, many different strategies that you can take in order for you to do so. We cover them. We cover the majority of them here. And starting in a couple of weeks, we're going to be having experts come on and talk to you about your own personal how you can get that personal piece of this pie. How can you position yourself to market yourself properly? Because this is massive. The article is talking about the space in Brazil. The specific article is talking about Brazil as one of these emerging markets. There are other emerging markets in the world that are already huge in podcasting. India is just one of them. And if you think about it, India has the largest population in the entire world. You're talking about a third of the population lives in India. Brazil is also, it's right here, this quote from the article, Renato Bontempo, the founder of Brazil-based production company Bicho de Goiaba. I butchered that. I apologize, Renato. I apologize if you ever watch this. I'm so sorry. Writes for Pod News today with some astonishing figures about podcasting success in the country, a top 3 country in the world for podcast consumption, but mostly ignored by larger podcast companies. Why are you not? The population of Brazil, let me pull this up. Let me pull this number up. I'm not going to do. I was going to do Wikipedia, but no. Okay, let's do that. 212 million people. 213 million. That's live. America has 350. Canada, where I live, only has 40 million. Maybe that might be one market that I start looking at. So we have all these emerging and the consumption rate in Brazil is, let me pull this article completely up. 203 million people, a market so vast it finished 2024 in the world's 10th largest economy. Brazil consumes, what is that, 9 hours and 13 minutes online every single day. That is the average internet consumption of Brazil. Time used in social media, and that, by the way, they're second to South Africa. They're third in daily time spent using social media. 3 hours and 37 minutes per day on average. This is an average number. So we need to be taking a look. Listening to podcasts. They're number one with 39.7%. Percentage of internet users aged 16 to 64 who listen to podcasts each week. 39.7% of the population listen to podcasts in Brazil. The worldwide average is 20%. They're doubling the consumption rate. Where's the United States? Oh, Greece is up there with 18%. Interesting. USA, 28.9. They're beating America by 10%, and Canada is only at 25%. So we have all these different markets that we're not utilizing. The top 3 are Brazil. They're number one. Indonesia and Mexico. They're the top three that listen to podcasts per week. And they are Brazil 39.7%, Indonesia 38.2%, and Mexico 36.6%. Mexico is a huge population, massive population. Indonesia's big too. They're not small. So, I mean, if you're not looking at these quote unquote smaller markets, I don't know why you wouldn't. Honestly, if you want your exposure, that's where it should be, where the largest amount of eyeballs and earballs are. Something that we're going to be looking at as well, because something, it's something worth looking at, and it's definitely something worth looking at. Next article comes to us from The Verge. The Verge, Google launches Ask Gemini, Workspace AI assistant. Headline: The Verge reports Google introduces Ask Gemini, an AI assistant embedded into Workspace tools like Docs, Sheets, and Gmail. Why this matters. AI in Workspace means creators will have powerful built-in tools for research, writing, and workflows without paying for extra software. Microsoft is doing something similar with Copilot. They're doing something similar with Copilot. So Copilot and Ask Gemini are pretty much the same thing, just different branding. Why is this important? This is important because now podcasters can now use AI directly in the tools that they already live in, making advanced workflows more accessible. I use a multiple different spectrum of tools in order to get my content out. It would be wonderful, Microsoft, Google, if I could have it all in one place, but it's not. I mean, if I can get my Docs, my Sheets, and my Gmail all linked in to create my show notes, the email drafting, the sponsorship emails, and the outreach for sponsorships, and bake it all into one simple tool instead of having multiple different tools and multiple different zaps that have to go on. And I mean, it'll make life easier, much easier. And technically it'll make life a lot cheaper too, because less subscriptions. We actually just purchased Opus Clip. It's an extra $14 a month. Didn't want to, but I mean, I needed to get some clips up and out. So ran out of credit. So I bit the bullet, and we'll see next month. This month's purchase was Opus Clip, and it looks like it's a pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. For now, we'll see. We're doing a lot with shorts and everything, so we'll see. Game changers, early adopters who master these integrations will run leaner and faster than competitors still stuck in manual workflows. And this is something that I have been harping on with you guys, and I've been harping on this with you guys from the very get-go. If you're not on par with all the AI tools that are out there, you do not want to be left behind. I have a love-hate relationship with AI, with artificial intelligence. Y'all know that. I love it because it makes my life a lot easier. and a lot cheaper. Instead of spending $300, instead of spending $2,000 a month, I'm spending $300, less than $300 a month on assistants, on marketers, on you name it. If I add up all the extra hires that I would have to do with all the stuff that I'm doing with AI right now, I'm probably looking at $50,000 a month in salaries. From $50,000 a month to 300 a month. I'll take the 300 a month any day. And while, yeah, I am still getting on board with getting the podcast up and the guests up and running, there are things that we are doing that we are set up right now. We just put a submission into Apple Podcasts, so iTunes has our submission, and they'll be releasing it. I think it's 3 to 5 business days. So next week, this time next week, we'll be looking to bring on board guests. Our very first episode, podcast Business Insiders, episode 001, will be released Tuesday, right here on YouTube. We're setting everything up, and I now I understand the importance of having an SOP and following it to the letter, because if you do not, you're going to fall into the trap that I just fell in today. And you're not going to be a happy camper, because the only thing that you're going to be doing is scrambling. AI, let me pull this back into the AI. AI helps you stay on course. I have tools for AI that help publish my podcast the way and where it's supposed to go. All I have to do is just go back into my habits and follow my schedule. That's all I have to do. And just pop my AI content in there, and it pops it up where it's supposed to go. That's all it does. And it's fantastic. It's literally saved me from the one episode. I recorded the episode maybe 4 hours ago. And right now I'm just finishing up doing the repurposing content for YouTube. And I'm going to be probably doing the repurposing content for LinkedIn tomorrow, or maybe I'll probably today. I'll get all the repurposing scheduling stuff today. Tomorrow I'll be working on the say it, John. Say it. On the emails, all the content, blog posts, emails that will be going out on the day that the episode releases. So all that stuff is all set up and is all good to go, and we don't have to worry. Everything's good to go. We're up and running. This may actually delay the release of Control-Alt-Elite by maybe a month. I had it originally scheduled in for October 1st, but I need to see how all this is going to go, and I want to take all of October and just see what my flow is going to be. And I'm finalizing stuff with Underdog Media as well, so all that's going to be done as well, so that's all good. Anyways, let's get into today's topic. It's not just news about the industry and about us. It's about teaching you guys some important stuff. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about growth hacks versus growth systems. Hacks are like sugar highs. They're great for a moment, but they crash hard. Systems is like nutrition, steady, sustainable, and compounding over time. I've had some examples with this in the past with the Fitness Oracle. I did a hack with the Fitness Oracle a year by a year and a half before I ended it. Year and a half? In and around a year and a half before I ended it. I dumped some money into downloads and it spiked. To sit here and tell you that it didn't spike, I went from 70,000 downloads to 140,000 downloads in a matter of a month. So I got 70,000 downloads in a month. That's a lot. But the second I removed the money from there, crashed. I was lucky if I got 10 downloads in a month. Like all you see is my scale going up slowly, then whoop, and then whoop, and then maintaining. As it was nothing. The hack meant nothing. It had I known about systems, which I learned after, is create proper sustainable systems. Yes, the growth would have been shorter. It would have been short, like the increase would have been taken longer. However, I would have still had the show had I not done the hack. There was other factors that were involved with me killing the Fitness Oracle, but that was one of the main reasons. And we're going to talk to you about three reasons why systems will always beat out hacks. First and foremost, they're predictable, they're scalable, and they build trust. Systems create repeatable results, hence the predictability part. Hacks just create spikes, and they're all empty. There's no foundation for it to build, to grow from, where the system has that foundation and you can build from there. A system can be delegated and expanded. Remember, you have the foundation, and I can take that foundation, I can give it to somebody and say, here is the system, and I want you to work it, and if possible, make it better if you can. A hack usually can't. A hack is only there if you keep feeding it what it needs. But the second you stop feeding it, it just goes away. It doesn't make a difference. Trust. Audience trust consistency. They don't trust gimmicks. An audience can spot fake from a mile away. I tried doing some AI stuff on YouTube just to grow, I did it as a test to see how easy it is and how good the AI is. You must have seen some stuff on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Grow some awareness, quick ways to grow awareness. I remember that was a a little hack that I tried. Now I'm working on the system of creating all these real lives shorts, and they're working much better. They really are. Like I'm getting like on average 80 views per um, per short on YouTube. And I'll be honest with you, I had one where it was 220. It was mind blowing. I was like, wow, awesome. That was great. I loved it. So let's get into real case study. The Stoic Podcast, the Daily Stoic Podcast, didn't explode from hacks. It scaled steadily through consistent content, repurposing across email, newsletters, and a clear product ecosystem. There is a theme of everything that is happening with all these real world cases that I'm telling you guys. There's a theme to it. Repurposing content, consistency in your content, emails, newsletters, all of this, a clear path for your avatar to go from I don't know who you are to purchasing something from you. There's a clear path. And the Daily Stoic Podcast did it in spades. He exploded because he had the proper systems. No hacks. So today we are going to build your first growth system. And what is it going to look like? Just like that. Just as simple as that. You're going to map your listener path to the podcast, the lead magnet, to the newsletter. That's all you need to do. Keep it nice and simple. Okay? Don't overcomplicate this. Wait until you get some people into your newsletter and then start feeding them a little bit more stuff for them. That's why I asked you guys in the beginning, what's your biggest challenge in podcasting right now? I'll put it up again for you. What is your biggest podcast challenge right now? Put it in the comments. I would love to know what it is. I am curious and I do want to know, but there's other reasons why I want to know. So we're doing that. I'm trying to manage this. This is not helpful. It's the banners are fantastic and I love StreamYard for it, but I mean, I just trying to look at my notes, and I do use notes. If you think I'm not using notes to do this, you are completely and utterly wrong. I am using notes, and you should too. 100% you should. If you're not using notes, you're not doing a good job. End of story. So here's how you do it. Take your last 10 pieces of content. I want you to give them a good audit. I want you to systemize each step. So these next steps, I want you to do for 90 days. I want you to systemize. I want you to write them down. What do you do in order for you to get these things out? One should be audit your last 10 pieces of content. Then you systemize each step with templates or automation. Get it off your hands. Do not, I repeat, do not do this by hand. The only thing that you guys should be doing by hand is using a notebook like this. Whoops. A notebook like this that looks something similar like this. This happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. You can see here, I'm like Website, landing page, email list, newsletter, Discord. Nice and simple. There's more to that. I'm just not putting it there. I want you to run it for 90 days and measure steady growth. Just measure everything. How many people did come on? How many people opened my email? How many people looked at, clicked on the link? And how many people signed up? Those are all important. That's all important content for you to know. Always remember, guys, growth hacks can give you a taste of momentum, but systems feed you for years. Don't look at the flashy. Don't look at the quick wins. Look at what will be. One podcaster, I think it was John Lee Dumas, who said it the best. Can you leave your podcast for 3 months, go on a vacation, and it's still running? Can you leave your business for 3 months and it's still running? There's the difference between hacks and systems. If the answer is yes, you have systems in place that will last. If the answer is no, all you have done is hacks and empty foundations. So remember, you want the systems. You want to be able to leave your business for a year and say, still making money. You can leave your podcast or your live stream for a year and say, it's still going strong. I'm getting my downloads, I'm getting my views, I'm getting my signups, my email list is growing, my subscriptions are growing. I'm okay. I'm good. It's been a year. Took a year off. That's the indicator right there. Well, that's that, guys. Download your free. Don't forget to download the free 15 steps to kickstart your podcast checklist. This is your roadmap to smarter growth without relying on gimmicks. You're building your systems. No hacks there. And don't miss the insider strategies. Sign up for the Rebel Intel newsletter today. And tomorrow, guys, is Thursday and Tactics Thursday. We're going to map your first audience retention system. So you don't just attract listeners, you keep them. And until then, guys, you guys have an amazing evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got to get back to doing these things here. Fun. See you guys tomorrow.